Disclaimer: this video shows a variety of opinions on the idea of sexuality. These opinions may contradict your own, so please view with an open perspective. We tried to keep a neutral viewpoint to avoid biases in this topic. Please be aware that this documentary is not meant to offend or insult anyone, nor is it forcing you to change any of your opinions. But this is produced in order for the viewers to be more mindful about sexual orientation in our state and our country. Thank you. Sexuality. It is more difficult to explain than it seems. It isn't just black and white, even though some may want to believe so. Sexuality is declared as a way for people to experience and express themselves sexually. This involves biological, erotic, physical, emotional, social, or spiritual feelings and behaviors. Sexuality is a broad term, varying throughout cultures, countries, and times. It lacks a precise definition. Today, we are talking about sexuality, or more specifically, how one's sexual orientation can affect their life. So, let's begin with the basics. What is sexual orientation? Sexual orientation is defined as an emotional, romantic, sexual, or affectional attraction to another person. This can mean someone might be heterosexual, sexual orientation to the opposite gender or gender. This also means that someone might be homosexual or bisexual. To watered down, homosexuality is when a person is attracted to the same gender or sex. Because the attraction of a man to a man or a woman to a woman is not the norm, many people who are gay, lesbian, or another sexuality that is not straight have dealt with judgment. While homosexuality is not fully accepted in the United States, it was a much greater stigma around it several decades ago, or even just a few years back. In today's climate, the LGBTQ+ community and its issues have been more popular than ever. According to CPR.com, the Colorado Public Radio, Denver has the 9th highest population of the LGBTQ+ community, with 4.6% of people identifying as LGBTQ+ between 2012 and 2014. Even with our state's capital having one of the highest population of people that are part of the LGBTQ+ community, the percentage is very small in comparison to the other 95% of people who are most likely heterosexual. So, our question was, what issues do people of different sexualities face because of their sexual preference? It wasn't only directed to the LGBTQ+ community. We also wanted to know the issues of the straight or heterosexual community we face, as the LGBTQ+ community and homosexuality is acknowledged more through time and beliefs about sexuality shift. We began by asking the younger generations about what issues they face. We started with the students who are part of the LGBTQ+ community.
No, I haven't personally.
My friends.
No.
Everyone assumes that like once you come out, like you have to know someone, but like I didn't. But then she also spread the rumor around my school, and like I trusted her.
Once I came out to some family, and they weren't exactly accepting about it, and they kind of said I was confused and that it's just a phase. That's
thinking that we were close, I told them about it, trying to like get some help from friends, and they were not very open-minded, and they kind of always make gay jokes. It's really uncomfortable because like they're not really funny. They're just against gay people. I don't know.
Something we want to mention is that all of the students we interviewed were either 7th or 8th graders. We had sent out a poll to the 8th graders asking what age do people begin to understand their own sexuality. The results was that a majority of the answers replied that the ages of 10 to 15 was the correct answer. Additionally, we personally believe that middle school population would be the right age to represent the beliefs of younger generations and have the ability to withdraw deep concepts about sexuality. A pattern noticed throughout the interviews was that the girls of the LGBTQ+ community had brought up more issues instead of the boys, even though 44% of the LGBTQ+ community consists of males while the other 56 are females. With the equal balance of genders in the community, we were left with the question of why the females faced more issues. This is just a small note marked by the creators. We will not be going deeply into the question of different sexes and why they have different issues. Aubrey, along with other interviewees, had said,
Mostly just like when I was first kind of figuring out like who I am and stuff, and like trying to figure that out, it was hard to like tell people because some people are jerks, and I think that was the only issue like at the beginning.
She had claimed that it was hard for her to be open about her sexuality because she was worried that others may be against the idea of homosexuality. Sadly, her fear is reasonable. According to a study in 2017 by an organization named GLAAD, G-L-A-A-D, 21% of straight American adults had admitted to being uncomfortable with homosexuality. Statistically, 1 out of 5 people are uncomfortable with the LGBTQ+ community.
I think that my mom would be generally accepting, but I'm not sure. And then I don't think my dad would like it.
My father would not be fine with it.
They're actually pretty supporting, and they know because I came out a while ago, but yeah, they're pretty supporting of it.
My mom was pretty mad about it. I don't really know how she feels now. My dad, he's like being more open to it, which I really appreciate. You know, like my mom like invited me to go to like Pride with her, so you know it started off really rough, but I feel like they're becoming more accepting, which is pretty cool.
My mom, she was like, "Are you sure?" And it's like a learning process. So if I don't know if she accepts me or not.
They've been really supportive and they like really help me up and everything, and so does the rest of my family, and I'm really grateful for that.
Well, I came out to my parents, and I'm really lucky to have parents that accept me for who I am. So when I told them, they were just like, love who you love.
Shockingly, when the students of the LGBTQ+ community had told us about their parents' reaction to them coming out, there was an overwhelming amount of positivity and support those parents provided. The term coming out is a gay slang that refers to self-disclosing an individual's sexual orientation. The majority of the students we interviewed that had come out to their parents or guardians stated that their guardian had been accepting or grew accepting of their sexuality. On the other hand, the students who were part of the LGBTQ+ community who hadn't come out to their parents were afraid that their parents would have a negative reaction.
What sexuality are you?
I am straight.
What issues do you have because of your sexuality?
I wouldn't say there's much issues because the people think that like straight is like the default sexuality.
Really nothing, I guess. Yeah.
I don't really think there are any issues per se.
I don't really encounter many issues. I mean, like, I've never been in a relationship or anything, so, like, my sexuality hasn't really come to play in my life yet. So.
I actually have a gay brother and homophobic parents. So I kind of am against that. So like I'm against homophobia because when you should be worried about your own sexuality and the sexuality of others, because it shouldn't concern you what this person loves.
I don't think that you should be like afraid or judge people based off of their sexuality, because they're their own person and you should love them for who they are, not who they love.
I don't think it should be a thing. I think people can be who they want to be, so there's no point.
Phobia.
I feel like it's something that just shouldn't be in America. It's something that's wrong, and in the end it could be kind of evil if it goes too far. But I feel like that's something that's slowly starting to die down more and more as time goes on.
Almost none of the straight community had issues dealing with their sexuality, whereas a lot of the LGBTQ+ community did. In fact, it was difficult to find stories of issues that the straight community had. In our first poll, we had asked a person's sexuality and if they had ever felt discriminated. All of the ones who had claimed as straight had no issues and had not been discriminated. However, when we interviewed 2 straight 7th graders, they gave us an interesting insight about what they faced because of their sexuality and the growing LGBTQ+ community.
Today, being gay is like, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it necessarily, but it's really popular, and it's like if you're straight, it's like you're uncool and you don't support people.
Well, I haven't, me personally, experienced like that horrible of like emotions due to like discrimination or because I'm straight or whatever. Like, but I think some people like have felt kind of pressured into changing themselves based on what others say about them.
Another student's answer caught our attention for their bolder statement due to his beliefs about the LGBTQ+ community. Before interviewing him, we were told by many sources that he was homophobic and against the LGBTQ+ community. When we had interviewed him, he clearly stated that he supported the LGBTQ+ community.
I believe it's becoming more and more accepted, and yeah, I just feel like it's being too popularized right now. It's kind of becoming a big trend in the country.
We did not find the same kinds of issues people of the LGBTQ+ community faced in the straight community. We did not find the issues the straight community had with their own sexuality. Rather, we found a different type of issue. Though straight people do not have issues dealing with their own sexual orientation, they face issues due to their beliefs on the concept of sexuality. This is seen more in the younger generations, where more students support the LGBTQ+ community, while the students who don't have the same viewpoints are peer influenced or pressured into feeling that they must support the LGBTQ+ community. Otherwise, they are branded as homophobic. We weren't able to interview straight people who didn't have the ideal ideas about the LGBTQ+ community. Why, you may ask? They're probably scared of what might happen to their reputation or what people may say about them. When someone doesn't see eye to eye with the topic of sexuality, they are accused of being homophobic. If they share their opinions, they don't resonate with the freedom and equality our country speaks of. They are exposed to hate or threats from people that disagree with them. Even when a country is equal, not everyone's mindset will be the same, and being angry at them won't benefit anyone. While some people from the LGBTQ+ community face discrimination for not being in the majority sexuality, some people who are straight face discrimination for not supporting this change of culture. Another issue the straight community has is how some of them are uneducated of the concept of homosexuality. When we had gone to the mall to interview people in hopes that we could gather a broader set of data and ideas, we were shocked that a lot of the people didn't even understand what homophobia was. It is a large issue for the straight community to not be educated on the concepts of homosexuality and different genders and different sexual orientations. These can cause misunderstandings and assumptions. These assumptions can lead to a negative decision being made or unconscious prejudice.